Hey everyone, what's up? I thought I'd come on here and do a live YouTube live explanation here. As you could see, it basically talks about um, how I became a fan, if you will, of My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic, and I'm basically going to be reading off something that I typed up, sort of more an extension of what I did on a Facebook live video. So just bear with me here, but this is what I wrote down, and this is my explanation. Hopefully, you guys will understand it. Um, now I have now quote. Now I know it may seem strange to many out there, but the reality is you shouldn't be afraid of something, or you shouldn't be afraid of being a fan of something that originally was intended for younger viewers of a certain age and gender. Although there are many that may still not understand why grown men, women, whole families, athletes, military personnel, etc., like My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. My opinion on it goes like this. Out of all the shows, animated, live action, that are either seen through streaming services like Netflix, Amazon, so on, or on cable slash over the air television, My Little Pony seems to do something that those other shows don't. It has something for every age, gender, generation, and so forth. A good example of this is the subtle references to other pop culture movies, celebrities, musical artists, bands, etc. They even had a 5 to 30-second appearance in an ad for a Super Bowl commercial a few years back, with the main cast wearing helmets, hats, headbands, and such for the Indianapolis Colts NFL team. Now, when this happened, it basically confirmed for many folks that My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic had gone beyond its targeted audience and crossed over to become a part of the mainstream pop culture. Now, however, for me personally, it wasn't until a few months ago when me, my mom, my niece, and a friend from church went out to lunch. It was during this get together that my niece brought up the fact that she had a friend who's straight, by the way, that intended to like things others would find unusual, and that they shouldn't judge him about it, because there was nothing wrong with him liking certain things others may not understand. It's like if someone went up to various members of my family or your family and judged them for still liking the Beatles or Lisa or Prince or Magic the Gathering or Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh or Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, you name it. You know, it'd be like if somebody judged you for liking a musical act, a Broadway musical like Mamma Mia or Oliver, or liking an award show like the Tony Awards or the Academy Awards or the Grammys, or getting all excited for an appearance by somebody you grew up on in your generation, yet they don't know nothing about, and even if they heard about them, they're like, they're passe. But it's like that. I mean, it's like if somebody judged you for liking those things, judged you for watching the Hallmark Channel, or Bob's Burgers, or The Simpsons, or Family Guy. Which, in truth, there's nothing wrong with anybody still enjoying any of that, despite whether or not it's controversial, decades old, nostalgic, or etc. If someone likes something, let them like it and enjoy it, and don't worry about it in the end. Because if there's one thing uh, that I learned going to church, is God has taught us not to judge anyone of any kind, but to accept them and to love our neighbors as we would love ourselves. And I know sometimes that may go over the radar, over some people's radars, but it's true. Just because someone like myself or someone like Firebrand, who used to be in the military, or someone like Silver Quill, who's about my age range, if not my oldest sister's age range, likes this show, you shouldn't hate on them about it. You shouldn't tease them about it. You shouldn't call them names about it. You should be like, hey, they if they like that stuff, that's fine with me. It's cool. That's their decision. Now, as for me, I'm here to admit that yes, as I'm pretty much indicating here, I am a fan of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. And if I was to guess when the fandom for me began, the fandom for it, as far as I'm concerned, began, I would guess it began when I started to notice the impact it was having all over the media. Even newscasts would do reports on it at times. In other words, sometimes when there was a convention or a get together or a gathering at a local hotel or center, people of the show would gather together to discuss it. You have all these conventions based on it, where you have all these voice actors and artists and all that coming in, the writers coming in and talking about the show. So when you have newscast, local news stations or national news stations going to these events and reporting on them, and more specifically reporting on My Little Pony, it shows you that it's done something no one else would expect. It's kind of like with Frozen. Everybody expected Frozen was going to be a hit, and it was, but nobody expected the impact Frozen was going to have, the cross impact, if you will. Heck, they did a making of Frozen documentary on ABC, and when they showed Elsa doing the Let It Go song, one of the moments they showed was military personnel going hoorah when she would do the climax to Let It Go. And that to me confirmed that nowadays you don't have to be a certain gender or age or artisticity or ethic to like something. Another example for me was several years ago when my second oldest sister mentioned that her youngest, who's going to be 10 this year, enjoyed watching it. And while watching it with him, she too started to enjoy it. Yeah, my nephew was about, I'm trying to guess, maybe about 4 or 5 years old. Um, yeah, it's kind of surprising, right? It's surprising the show's been on that long, but yeah, he's about 4 or 5 years old. And it was, I guess, during the second or third season, and he just liked it. I don't know if he still watches it. He probably doesn't, but because as boys, as we all know personally, as growing up, sometimes you go through different stages, you go through different changes. You know, in a sense, you used to like something. In a sense, if you like something when you were younger, you may not like it as you get older. But whatever. But yeah, he used to watch it. In fact, I think she even played it one time when we were visiting. I'm not really sure. But a more recent example for me, and this is more on a national media level, a more recent example for me was when during the election, Trump's wife, during one of her speeches, quoted one of the one of the main characters from the show, and that ended up making headlines all over the place. However, there is another reason. I've decided to finally acknowledge this, even though pretty much you watch here on YouTube, you pretty much know it already. Another reason I decided to finally acknowledge this was because now it's summer break. And for some of my family, if not for all families out there, it means catching up on cleaning the homes And by doing so, I mean, and by doing so, oh, I'm talking about everything being caught up on, from cleaning every room, kind of picking it up, making it decent, cleaning out closets, either it's in your room or another room or somebody else's room, cleaning under rugs, etc. Basically, this is the time of year, especially if it's this kind of degree of weather right now, that you want to try to slowly, if not, if it's cooler, steadily catch up on all the cleaning, even when no one is there, even when no one is there, especially, well, what I'm saying is when no one who lives with you is there. Like, let's say if you're a parent and your kid's out with their friends for the day, maybe out and seeing a movie, doing a tournament, doing a Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic the Gathering, or Pokemon tournament. You want to take that time to say, okay, they're not here. I'm going to clean up a little bit. I've got the time. I'm going to clean their room. I'm going to check everything, something like that. So, yeah, basically that's the reason I'm acknowledging it, because my mom, when she read the Facebook post of this uh, of the written version that I'm reading off of right now, she understood completely. She did, and she's like, "Hey, you like what you want to like. I have no problem. I'm not going to go into your closet. I'm not going to do that." But I do know that out of habit, just for the sake of cleaning, she would do it out of habit. Not that she would mean anything, but mostly, hey, I got to clean this. I got to check this. She would just do it out of habit, and that's cool and everything. But my fear, or not my fear, but the reason I just wanted to do this anyways, because the last thing I need, if she was going to pick me up from work, or if I was going to come home on the bus and she was going to be here, the last thing I needed to ask, or even ask me on the phone during my lunch break is, oh, by the way, Brian, I went in your room, cleaned it up a little bit, opened your closet. Why do you have all these pony stuff? What's all this about? You know. So I just decided, for my sake, just to get it off my shoulders. Now, here's the thing. I do understand that my sisters have already known about this. As a matter of fact, a little after I revealed this on Facebook, of course I expected this to happen, and I guess kind of explaining it finally, getting it off my chest really didn't hurt that much, because yeah, even because yes, my older sister did tease me about it. My 13-year-old nephew teased me about it. And yes, even my great nephew kind of got on me about it, but he kind of doesn't understand yet. But yeah, they got on me about it, and my mom did back me up, because obviously she's pretty much seen it as well in some variations or another. My second oldest sister didn't get on me about it, because I think she realizes that when I mentioned her son, her youngest, liking it when he was a kid, I think she kind of understands. But yeah, she did get on me about it, and again, she's still one of those that she kind of my older sister, that is, she kind of understands it, but she's also kind of like, yeah, I understand that, Mom. I understand that, Brian. I understand that, everyone, but still, it's kind of weird, you know. And yes, there's no doubt people will still look at it as weird, but again, like I said earlier, I think out of everything being shown right now, this has something for everybody. I think there's just a certain appeal about it that you look at, and you just say, hey, it's not talking down on us. It's not treating us like we're stupid. It's perfectly balanced in a sense. Well, not perfectly, but it's semi-balanced in the sense that everybody could, from any age, gender, whatever, can understand its messages, its story arcs, the personality of its characters, stuff like that. I mean, there are moments in there that make you want to laugh. I was watching bits of the Crystalline, the ending of the first part, and just the reaction on Cadence's face and Rainbow Dash's face after Flurry Heart shattered the Crystal Heart with her sonic cry, if you will, which is basically what it was. This reaction was like, what just happened? I mean, both the reaction, mostly Cadence's, was like, what just happened? you know, it made me laugh. And then, of course, and then one of the episodes I'm looking at, from the first season when Rarity meets Sapphire Shores. I mean, just her reaction at first, she's like, it's like, it's really funny. It's got these moments that make you laugh. It makes you laugh no matter what age you are. And just the fact that you have references to a pop star, like, in the form of a Sapphire Shores, or a pop star like Lady Gaga with the Countess Coloratura, Rah Rah, whatever you want to call her. It you as a grown up would immediately know what these acknowledgments are. Heck, there was a review two fans did. Excuse me, my thumb hit the mic there. But there was a review two fans did where one of the fans, called the Voice of Reason, said they're pretty much not even trying. They're pretty much not hiding the fact that they're ripping off or they're parodying, Lady Gaga and all that. So, and that's understandable. And that's understandable. And there's a lot of young kids that may know who she is, but there's some that may not understand the reference. They may not get it. So, but yeah, it's like, it's like to me, it's more along the lines of there's just moments in there people may not understand. And again, yes, people like my older sister may understand it. They, they'll accept it in the end. They just have to get the teasing out of the way, and they still might on occasions do it. And I'm sure all families have done that as well. When somebody's come out and said they're a fan of the show, and they're basically at that age or gender where it's like, really, but the more accepting of it, the more accepting of the fact that, yeah, okay, I got my tease out of the way. I might tease here and there, but it's more along the lines that they get out of the way, but they pretty much understand once they kind of look online and see the truth, especially if you point them to the documentary Brony or the two documentaries centered around the adult fan base, they kind of get a better idea. So, but yeah, my sister's probably, like I was saying, my sister's, probably already knew about it. And, I thank the Lord that they respect me enough not to really say anything. I mean, yes, they'll tease me at times, especially my oldest. And I did hope, and my mom does understand why I'm a fan as well. But as I said above, I guess it was the impact that My Little Pony had on all the media and pop culture that got me to slowly become a fan. Because honestly, I looked at it just like everybody else at first. I was like, it's just another girls' show. It's only going to have a couple of years. It's not going to be that big of an impact. It's not going to be that big of a deal. Boy, was I wrong. Boy, was I wrong. And I'll be the first to admit it. I was wrong. I was totally wrong about it. But yeah, like I said above, I guess the impact of My Little Pony Friendship as Magic had on all the media and pop culture, that got me to slowly become a fan. And I mean, to find out that you have fans of all kinds from every walk of life enjoying this franchise, that's very surprising in today's day and age. Now, if you do need any more information, I will provide the links down below. There is a link to the documentary that I mentioned on Netflix that may help some of you or some others that may not understand why people my age, if not older, a little younger, like the franchise. I mean, the thing is, you got to take time and enjoy it. You got to just sit back and say, okay, what's the big deal? I mean, even Matt Burnett, took time out to watch an episode, and he was cool with it. He did at first. He didn't think of it as a big deal. I don't know what his status is now, but he was cool with it. He's like, yeah, it was no big deal. It was okay. I liked it. I don't know about Jaime Toot or anybody else, but I know Huey Toonmore is a fan, so that's a big deal there. I think what's really going to be the judging factor in the end is going to be the movie. If the movie is done well enough to where everybody can enjoy it, I think we're going to be okay. I think the fan base is going to be okay. And I think hopefully if the movie does its job as it's intended to do, that people are actually, that you might get more fans, that you might get someone like Andre Meadows, Matt Burnett, Doug Walker, maybe to become fans themselves, or at least respect what the franchise has done. But yeah, if you need any more information, or anybody you know of needs any more information, there are going to be links down below, the to the documentary called Brony, a Brony Tale, and then there's going to be a Wikipedia link to one about another's. I mean, well, basically, you're going to have one documentary called Brony, and in another, you're going to have Brony Tales or something like that. It's going to be two documentaries you want to check out, but the one you want to check out on Netflix is streaming right now, so you should check that out. It's really good. It actually is, because it follows Ashley Ball, who does the voice and singing voice for both Rainbow Dash and Applejack. It follows her around and even documents how at first she was kind of a little weirded out, but then as soon as she met them and saw that, hey, these are just normal everyday people that just love the show. These are normal everyday families that love the show. Heck, this is more like people out of the military that like it. So it's a good documentary. I would highly recommend checking it out. So in closing, I just want to thank you all for taking the time to watch this and even um, read it. I'll provide a link down below to where you can check it out if I can't fit it all in the description. But I want to thank you all for taking time to watch this live and understanding and respecting my choice to be a fan of this franchise, and respecting the choice of anybody else to be a fan of this franchise, no matter what the age. So that's all I'm going to say. God bless you all. Take care. And thank you for watching this live. Please spread the word about this, and I will talk to you all later.